Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brad, in my hands is The Walking Dead Deluxe number 77. It's written by Robert Kirkman, art by Charlie Adlard, coloring by Dave McCaig, lettering by Rus Wooton. Alright, so for those who don't know, The Walking Dead Deluxe is kind of a reprint of The Walking Dead, issue by issue, but this time in color. There's also some extras with Robert Kirkman, puts in kind of his notes and goes back over his original notes, comparing them to the final product. Overall, really cool addition to the comic. Alright, so where are we at with the story? So the Rick and his crew are in Alexandria. They're attempting to, I would say, get towards a normal life. Rick is having slight meltdowns. He's still talking on the phone to his dead wife. He beat the crap out of one of the other people that lived in Alexandria, even though he was right about it. Breaking up a spousal abuse situation. So everyone's kind of like on edge when it comes to Rick, and then the rest of the crew are kind of like settling in, finding jobs, finding the role, stuff like that. All right, so we got some side stories as well, we have on the cover. We have Heath, who suffers a loss in this issue. It's a nice part of the story that I think adds to Heath and shows some relationships, and not everyone's like super cold in the town. My only gripe is like we're never really given enough time to really appreciate these two together and what they've got bonding wise. So like the death in itself isn't really impactful, but I think it does kind of add a little bit to Heath's character overall and helps with that. Puts him over as like a good person. Killing off a character to help push someone else's narrative. So I think like an emotional like loss isn't quite there. But the issue is packed with emotion. We've got Glenn and Maggie having some issues, and Andrea's kind of shows off that she's still not quite in a good mental space to like really have relationships or go any, get settled herself. And then we get kind of a pretty, I don't know if I'd call it shocking, but pretty brutal finale where clearly Rick and the current leadership of Alexandria click as far as what they need to do. It's a hell of an ending, and then really sets up what's to come. It's really been an interesting storyline overall, and I keep on coming back to this, but to me, I feel like when this originally came out, it was a very different era. We had to deal with shaky economic times. We had to deal with the threat of terrorism. And now we're dealing with the threat of COVID, along with shaky economic times. And it's, I think, really interesting reading in that post-COVID sense. We have a pandemic. And to me, like, Rick and his crew are the people who are kind of living in reality of where the world's at. Want to move on, want to get it kind of to a better space, but also very realistic as to where things are at. Then you have the people of Alexandria who really haven't been through the shit of it all and are either like completely blank as far as the threat that's all around them, or in denial of what the threats around them, or just come outright just rejecting the threat that's around them. Like they've seen it and they're just still sitting there being like, nah, this isn't a big deal. So either way, like you have these kind of very two different, I think, philosophies and where the groups are at mentally. And to me, it's a really interesting reflection of this world. This issue, I think, you kind of get like some of the sense of, I think, where we're at in society in many ways. You've got this spousal abuser who snaps, goes on a violent rage, and then everyone's just like, yeah, no, just cut him off. Like, screw this. It's an extreme reaction to an extreme reaction. And I'm not saying that the abuser needs to like, get away with anything, but like, at that point we kind of have a breakdown of society's rules, laws, like trials, everything. He does commit murder in front of everybody, so it's not like it was really in doubt as to what has happened. So like, to me, it's interesting. Like, I feel like once again, Kirkman kind of nails it in that society doesn't go back to normal. It kind of popped into extreme. Everything got ramped up to 11. And I think Kirkman nails that in a lot of ways. So it's been really, I think, an intriguing read overall to kind of see where things are at and what he gets right and what gets wrong about, post-pandemic society. The art, I think, always continues to be pretty solid. There's a couple actual panels in here, though, I get a little bit shaky. There's some characters drawn, like the way they're drawn, the positions just don't make a lot of sense. The colorization, I thought, has been really interesting. You know, whether or not it would add anything to, like, distract from the comic. Is there, like, too much blood, too much gore, whatever, and it just hasn't been the case. It's been good. Like, I wouldn't say necessarily the color adds a ton to the story, but overall, I think it just it does a decent job and doesn't distract. Like it's good. Like coloring is good, everything's good. Like it's not quite what I thought it would be, and to me, I think that's pretty intriguing. There's also a little bonus comic in the back by Derek Hunter that's been kind of fun. That's been going on for a few issues, like poking fun at The Walking Dead, and I've been really enjoying it. But overall, like this is a cool way to go back and read the comics. Issue by issue, I think, like, is even better than reading it in trade. And it comes out every other week, which is pretty nice to be able to, like, really speed things up. So, like, if you've never read it or you want to go back, I think this is a solid way of going about it. Plus, you get the bonus, you get the color. It's, you know, everything's really good. So, as always, you know, I gotta recommend it. I think it's been fun going back and rereading the series. You can go get this. This is out in comic shops. We got a link beneath this video. Put in your zip code, tell the comic shops near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some links where you can purchase your own. There'll be affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage, and by doing that, you'll support our site. So thank you. And speaking of support, just watching our videos support us, so thank you as well. If you're into comics, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Threads, Blue Sky, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, keep reading those comics. And keep it kiki. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.